Guys, are you watching what is happening in my life right now? Did you read today this over the top Ephesians 3:20 miracle that happened to me that I never in a million years would ever expect somebody that is I don't even think I would expect a family member to do this for me, much less, maybe my parents, but much less, somebody that I haven't seen in years. Oh, hair. But abundant blessing above and beyond. I got a brand new refrigerator paid for because somebody wanted to bless someone else out of their abundance. And it got me thinking, God, why are you doing this? How is this all happening? Is this always gonna happen, or is it something? And somebody mentioned something today that this is my season to receive. And you know what? I've been thinking a lot about that. And even though outwardly, yes, we go through seasons of lack and we go through seasons of abundance as far as finances are concerned. But I want to challenge that thought and go a little bit deeper and say that God's storehouse, God's provision, God's abundance, whatever that may look like, whatever your needs are in that moment, and not what you think your needs are, but what God knows that your needs are. I believe that every single moment of every single day, that storehouse of heaven is available to you, and it is there for you for all of his kids, And I just really believe that, honestly, it is because of the fact that I have been so faithful all of my life as I've been walking with God to be as generous as I possibly can, even in my little bit, Because even whenever you're not making enough to pay your bills, or let's just say you are barely making it paycheck to paycheck, a lot of times we have abundance and we don't even realize we have abundance. Maybe you were given something that you really didn't need. Maybe, like me, you just received a whole mess of donated clothes that you could split and share with somebody. I was just remembering in the book of Acts where they would sell their possessions if they had an abundance when they knew that someone else was lacking. And I know that I think I've talked about this before, but it is becoming more and more apparent that the more I live with an open hand and the more abundant I live, or the more abundant blessings I give, the more abundant blessings I receive. It's got to be some kind of, I don't know, cause and effect kind of thing. God is so good. He is so good. Nothing is deserved. Nothing is from our own good doing, but I do believe that it all has to do with the condition of our hearts and how attached we are to our possessions and to our finances and to material things. Because I have been practicing from a long time, from the moment that I decided to follow Christ. And even maybe before that a little bit, I purged a lot. I wasn't a hoarder. I didn't keep things just because I thought, oh my gosh, I might need this in 10 years or in the summertime or in the wintertime or whatever. Obviously that you keep certain clothes here and there, but for the most part, everybody, I purged. And I didn't always sell my stuff. I would take carloads of things to Goodwill or to meet a need where I knew there was a need. And I've been like that for a long time, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just in awe right now because I really believe that when you live with an abundant, generous heart for others, when you keep your ears and your eyes open to opportunities to bless somebody else, I really believe that in those moments where you need to be blessed in a certain area, God is right there, right there. But I don't believe that always happens whenever we live with fear. Because most of us, honestly, most of us live with this fear of lack. Fear of not having enough money, not having enough clothes for the winter. I mean, if you have 2 sweaters, I mean, the idea would be to give one to the person that needs it, right? And you know what? We have to get real with ourselves, because a lot of times we in our minds think, "Oh yeah, I would totally do that for somebody." But when it comes down to it, would you really? And are you seeking it out? If you have abundance in your house right now, if you were blessed with something, are you actively searching for an opportunity to meet a need in someone else? Because if you're giving a cup of water to somebody, Jesus says that you're giving it to him. If you're clothing someone, if it's cold outside right now, what are you doing with your abundance? Are you making a point to teach your kids and to be an example to your sphere of influence of the abundance of your heart, of the generosity of your heart? And I want to put that challenge out there for you today, because I think that that's super important. We can't hold on to our possessions so tightly, because anything could be gone in seconds. Fire, flood, they could be stolen. What is that tie with our possessions? What is that tie with material things? Yeah, they're nice to have, but nothing is going to fulfill us except for God, except for Jesus. Some of us know that. Helping others fulfills us because it's part of God's character. That's why it feels so good to give. So I just challenge you guys this week, look for opportunities where you can meet a need from your own abundance. Even if you don't have the money, maybe you have an abundance of something else. Look for an opportunity to meet a need in somebody's life, because that is going to change and rock their world, and it is going to show the love of Jesus. And that would mean that you're being the hands and feet of Jesus to someone else. And that is how we heal people's hearts. That is how we continue to bring people together and not divide each other, because there's so much division and there's so much hatred and so much judgment right now. And if you're not tithing, that's a whole other conversation. Test God in your tithe. 10% of all of your increase goes back to your home church, not just to anywhere, to your home church, because they will do the necessary things to meet the needs of the community. At the very least, tithe, so they can meet the needs of our community. So I hope this encourages you. I have been super faithful in that, and I really believe that that's why God is providing for me and why I am seeing the fruit of what I have planted. Our lives are gardens, Whatever you plant is what you reap. So I hope that this kind of gives you some perspective, and if you're lacking in something, I challenge you to plant something, because you're not lacking in everything. Go find something to plant and you will see a harvest. You guys have a good day.